we're recording. So awesome. Welcome to yoga. Time to practice. Believe it or not, I did not have coffee today. And I haven't been drinking coffee since February. So of course I wouldn't have coffee today. I had lemon water. It was delicious. I think I'm wide awake because I've been up since like 5:15. I drove Jeff off to Caldwell at that hour because he went on a tiny little mini plane flying to somewhere in the mountains in the lower salmon or the middle fork salmon. And he's doing a video shoot for these planes. So he put GoPros on these planes and had his camera set up, and he's just doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So I got a text from him from the air, so I know that he got up, which is good. I'm just waiting for that text to know that he got down also. So whatever you might be anticipating today, let's all just let it go. Close your eyes, sit nice and tall, maybe on a support, right? I'm sitting on this blanket, just fold it up maybe a couple inches and bring the legs across. However you feel supported to really lengthen your spine. So really focus on creating space in your body, right? We're very influenced by gravity, excuse me. And so we're usually hunched over and like landing on the floor, right? Walking with heavy feet. But we want to create this sense of lift through the body with this practice today. So think about as if you could be floating, which a lot of the bones in your body already are. They're just supported with, thick muscles and tendons and ligaments and all the things. And so think about that sense of lift, right? Sense of lifting through your body. What other words can you think of that kind of are synonymous to lifting or could work with that theme? Space, lightness, openness, clear, right? What else could you think of? With your eyes closed, just start to deepen the breath. And just thinking about this idea of lifting, of floating, of rising up, lengthening, all these words that work together on this theme. And as you're breathing deeply, really feel like you're filling up a balloon, like you are a hot air balloon on this upper half of your body, and you're just taking off. And as you exhale, keep that sense of lift, of flight, if you will, and that squeeze your core muscles around the bones of your spine. Imagine even the anatomy of your skeleton, where your rib cage is floating up. There's space beneath your rib cage. Just your spine is there, and then your hip bones, the hip crests are there. So there's this openness right in the middle of the body. And so feel that area lengthen with your breath in, all the way up through the back of the neck and the crown of the head, and even lengthen with your breath out. So then you really start to observe the layers of muscles that are inside of us to wrap around the bones to keep us upright. Now start to bring your awareness to the space between or behind your eyelids. Just notice if you see color or light or darkness. Soften your eyelids, relax them. Relax your eyebrows and the temples and the upper cheeks right underneath your eyes. And as your awareness is there, is your breath still deepening, right? Deep your breath, flowing so deeply, just like an accordion. You're just getting all that old air out of the body, just opening up and squeezing it out and opening it up, squeezing it out like a sponge. And soften your jaw as well as your eyes. And feel that release, relax through your neck, and shoulders are heavier. But the spinal cord is still tall, still lifting, still floating. And relax into the base of your hips and your legs to your knees and feet. You almost feel light in your seat. Like you're hovering right where you are, like a real Buddha. And then let's exhale everything out of the body. So get really empty here. We're going to do upward counting breaths. So with your inhale, breathe in fully for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now deep round of breath in. Open the mouth and exhale it out. Let your breath be natural now. Let it come and go, and notice the effects of your consistent breathing practice there for a good couple minutes. Relax your jaw and your face. Let's meet our palms together in front of our heart and drop your head down, and just take a moment as you dive into your heart space to set an intention for yourself, or whatever you might be going through and kind of your world off of your yoga mat, or whatever you might be going through in your world on your yoga mat. So find a word or a phrase, something supportive and loving, repeat it in the mind. Just smile at it and take a nice deep breath in. And exhale it out, releasing your hands down. Okay, keep your head heavy here, chin at our chest, and then swoop your left ear over towards your left shoulder. Notice if you brought your whole body weight over to that left side as your head just drops there. So even out the pelvis, right? Think about how heavy your pelvis is, as heavy as your head is. So even it out, balance, right? Root that right hip down, and then grab your right ear gently with your left hand, kind of just weighing your hand there. Rest your right hand next to your side and exhale everything out here. As you inhale, lift that right arm, just reaching out to the right and land it level with your right shoulder. Exhale here, soften your shoulders. Reach through that right arm out to the right, inhale. Exhale, lower that arm down, letting your fingertips kind of lift. It's almost like you're painting the wall, if you will. Lowering down, and then inhale, lift that arm up. Exhale, flex the wrist and lower it back down. Let's do this 2 more times. Inhale, lift that arm, flex the wrist, exhale, lower. And you're reaching out through that wrist too, right? And then inhale, lift, flex, and exhale, lower. Hey Yeti, just noticed that you arrived. Welcome. Inhale, let's do 1 more for fun. Exhale, flex, and reach out through the wrist and lower. Then release both hands, swoop your chin down to your chest and just hang out there for a minute. Take a breath. And then lift your head back up. Good. And then just kind of wiggle the head a little bit, softening the muscles on that, especially the right side of the neck. And then chin down again. Swoop your right ear over to your right shoulder. Hey, friends. And then bring your right hand to rest on your left ear. Left hand rests down heavy by your side, and just lift your heart up, lifting up out of the seat, right? So we're again feeling that sensation of floating. Think about lifting the rib cage, floating it up higher. Now exhale everything out of the body. And then as you inhale, lift your left arm up, parallel to the floor, reach the fingers, exhale here. I'm gonna take it slow this first time. And inhale, reach through the fingers, flex the wrist, exhale, lower that arm down, reaching out through the wrist, and then soften the wrist. Inhale, lift the arm up again. Exhale, flex and lower. Good, and try to spread your fingers wide. Inhale, keep them wide. Exhale, flexing. Soften your jaw, relax the tongue. And again, inhale up. Flex it, exhale. Notice what you feel. Gotta be feeling something. All right, release your hands, bring your chin to your chest. Inhale, lift your head back up. Now you close your eyes. Draw a tiny circle with your nose. And then make it a spiral. So you're kind of tracing the outside of each loop, creating a nice tight spiral. Going bigger and bigger. Doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but try to make it smooth. Relax your jaw and your tongue. Soften your eyes. Very like non-expression or an expressionless face, like that. And then go as big as you're going in the opposite direction. And then spiral towards the center and this tight spiral. So you're just tracing now the inside layer of the circle or each arc around. Nice and smooth. Landing right in the center and letting those eyes open. Okay, we've been seated forever. So let those legs go long out ahead of you, hands by your side, and just circle those ankles around. And you can face me or the mat, wherever you're comfortable. Go in the other direction, move around, move around. Good. Now come off of what you might be sitting on. So you're on your mat and then feet are on the floor. Really root your feet down, swoop those arms forward, tuck the tailbone, roll onto your back. And then relax your hands by your side. Scoot those knees to land on top of your hips and your calves are parallel to the floor. Palms are down, fingers are wide. Now you might want to lift your hips up a little and kind of slide your kind of thumbs and index fingers under you to act like a little shelf for your hips, or keep your palms next to your side, which becomes a little harder. So if you want to bring your hands underneath, it'll take some of the strain out of the lower back as we're building the strength there, because yes, we're going to do some core work. So even already it takes work in our core to keep our legs in this position when we're laying down. So tuck your shoulders underneath you and really push your arms into the floor so your arms can help you and help your core. Right now, point your toes here and imagine or see that your legs are in this 90-degree angle, right? Your calves are parallel to the floor, your thighs are perpendicular to the floor. We want to keep this shape in the legs, but as you exhale, we're going to let those toes kind of extend forward and tap the floor, but don't lower the lower legs. You just kind of move the thighs forward and then those toes just naturally tap the ground and then lift back up so that those knees land on top of the hips. A lot of core work here. And then pull back up. Now, as you're exhaling, think about your core pushing down into the floor, even as your toes tap, right? And then just keep going. Yes, beautiful. Just like that, Yeti. Press your arms down, firm the belly. Keep your head really rooted into the floor too. Let's do it for 5, nice and slow and intentional movement. 4, right, find your breath. 3, I'm shaking. 2, and then 1, and release. Bring those knees into your chest and just rock side to side. Take a big breath into the belly, let it be soft. And sigh it out. So not only is our core working, our hip flexors are working. So our front of our hips might feel kind of tight. So drop your feet to the floor now. Toes are pointing forward. Hands are again now just by our side. So palms are down, tuck the shoulders under you, lengthen the back of your neck and push your skull into the floor. Now imagine your toes are pointing straight forward. Spread, lift and spread your toes. And then push the big toe knuckle mound into the floor and the pinky toe knuckle mound into the floor. And then feel your inner heel and your outer heel root down at the same time. Your toes could actually stay lifted this whole time. Now push into your feet in that position, evenly distributed weight, and lift your hips up. Now firm your glutes, push into your arms. You might tuck your shoulders under you just a little bit, but keep your palms on the floor here. You're not going to lift extensively high. Slowly start to maneuver your feet in a position that feels comfortable to shift all of your weight to the left foot and root it down evenly. The big toe, pinky toe, inner heel, outer heel. Lift your right knee into your chest. Woo! And then extend that right leg forward so your thighs are parallel to each other and you're reaching through the right heel. Spread your right toes. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lower your hips down, tap them on the floor, and inhale, lift back up. Exhale, tap, lower. Inhale, press back up. Use your arms. Exhale, lower. Inhale, push back up. Woo, 2 more. Really feeling that leg work, but also feel the back of your core working, your lower back. Then bend the knee and drop that right foot into the floor, onto the floor. Shift your weight to the right foot now and bring your left knee in. So right away we switch and our hips are lifted. Extend that left leg forward. Thighs are parallel to each other. Flex the left foot. Take a breath in. Lift those hips by pushing into the foot. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, lift. Push into the arms. Exhale, lower. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Think about that weight on the bottom of the right foot. Push into the big toe mound, the pinky toe mound, the inner heel, and the outer heel. 4 corners of your feet. Now lift up, bend the left knee into your chest, and drop that foot. Even out the weight between both of your feet on those 4 corners, and lift your hips a little more. Take a big breath in and lower 1 vertebrae at a time from your upper back to the mid back. Squeeze your glutes. Keep your tailbone lifted so it is the last thing to drop down. And then touch your knees, open your feet apart. Open your arms out to a T and rock your knees a little side to side. Left and right. Left and right. Good. Great job. All right, now bring your knees up, bring them into your chest, hold on to them, give yourself a hug. Bring your nose up to those knees, round the back, drop your shoulders away from your ears though. Take a breath in here. Exhale, squeeze closer. And then relax your head and shoulders down. Hold behind your thighs and let's rock up and down the spine. All the way back and all the way up. Notice how it feels. Do what feels best for you. If rocking doesn't feel good to do today, don't do it. Listen to your body. We're going to cross our legs and come to tabletop or scoot your feet to one side and come onto your knees, tabletop position. So spread your fingers nice and wide. Bring your knees underneath your hips and find a cat and cow pose, shifting with your breath. All right, so we inhale, the belly drops, and we look up, right? We open those lungs. And then we exhale, we compress the center of our core, we squeeze those lungs and get all the air out, opening the back body. And then inhale, spread your fingers wide, let your elbows bend a little and pull the shoulders back, broadening your chest. Exhale, press everything into the floor, including your feet and your shins. Let's do a couple more. Relax your jaw and your face. Maybe let your top and bottom lips separate. And then find tabletop position. So with your knees hip distance, let's scoop your tailbone almost like you're gonna do a cat pose in the lower body, right? But not like so much that that mid back starts to round. It's just a tiny little scoop, and you should start to feel the lower belly engage with that. So keep that tiny little scoop, extend your right leg back, keep the scoop of the pelvis. And then shift your weight to your right hand to make sure those fingers are spread wide and extend your left arm forward. Push into your right hand. So you lift up away from the floor, push into the left knee and foot. So now it becomes almost effortless to lift the right leg up. Keep your right toes pointing towards the floor. Feel that little scoop of the tailbone so you feel the lower belly really engage here. Steady your breath, steady your gaze at one point, and rather than sinking down with gravity, resist gravity. Push into the floor. Feel your right glute lift that right leg. Reach back through that right heel like you're trying to grow that right leg longer out of your body, and reach the left arm forward. Take a nice deep breath in. Pull the belly in as you exhale, push into that right hand. 2 more breaths. Relax your face, lengthen the back of your neck, maybe gaze down. 1 more. And then release. Left hand down, right knee down. Right away, extend the left leg back. Toes on the floor to start. Scoop your tailbone, feel your glutes engage and that low belly tighten, and then extend your right arm forward. So your palm of the right hand faces the left side of the room. Fingers are spread so wide. Push into the left hand, push into the right knee and the top of that foot, and then lift the left leg, float it up. Feeling the sense of floating in the body. We press out of the earth to find space in the joints, lifting up towards the sun like we're flowers. Reach through that left heel, reach forward through the right fingers, pull the belly in and steady the breath. Relax the face, expressionless face. Just so impartial, like, yep, we're here and I'm breathing. Do 2 more breaths, but you're so active, right? There's that balance of the yin and yang, right? You're really reaching and you're pulling your core in, but your face is so relaxed, like nothing's happening. And then slowly you drop that right hand and the left knee. Good job. Curl your toes, bring your toes and your knees together. Walk your hands towards your knees. Really help yourself spread those toes behind you. And try to open them up. You create space in those bones on your feet. Firm your belly. Push into your hands and lift your knees and just let your belly rest on your sides as you sink your hips down behind you, getting a nice ankle stretch. Let your head sink heavy. Take a breath in and out. And then lift your head, bring your knees forward, and then let your belly come forward, your chest come forward, your butt kind of sticks out. You're doing like a cow pose. And then engage your belly, push into your hands and round the spine as you press your heels towards the earth, dropping your head down. Look at your toes and see how spread they are. And then come forward again, knees down, pull the chest forward, inhale, look up, pull the shoulders on your back. And then exhale, round it out. Awesome. Come back, heels down, head heavy. And then come forward. Now walk your hands forward, spread them wide, untuck those toes and tap those feet on the earth. Opening up those feet. Okay, curl them once again. Lift your knees just an inch above the floor. Firm the belly. Feel that little cat tilt of your pelvis again, as if you're trying to tuck the tail just a tiny little bit. Feeling the lower belly engage. Now feel the inner elbows and even look at them. Those inner elbows rotate forward. You're externally rotating your shoulders. Keep that in your arms and push into your hands to push your chest to the thighs, keeping your knees low. And then lift up your hips. And then a little bend in your knees, and then pull the heels towards the floor, downward facing dog. Really strong in your shoulders here with that intentional rotation before we lifted up the hips. Now steady your breath. It may feel completely different. Notice once your shoulders kind of maneuver out of this external rotation. It takes a lot of work to keep it. So now pedal the legs, distract yourself. Then the left knee, drop that right heel towards the floor, feeling the upper thigh push towards the back of the room. And then switch, bend the right knee, left heel presses down and the upper thigh presses back. And then just keep going, keep going. And with this kind of like stepping in place motion, start to lift the feet slowly and step forward. So kind of walking forward. Firm your belly along the way. Let your fingertips come to the floor whenever. And then you can pause and stop in a forward fold whenever you want to. Spread your toes so wide and fold, relaxing your head. Exhale everything out. Roll up to a half forward fold with an inhale, unraveling with this parallel spine to the ceiling. And exhale, fold forward, bending the knees, and think about the four corners of your feet. You can feel them now. Push into the big toe knuckle mound. So lift your toes and spread them. And feel the big toe knuckle mound immediately take the weight. Then push the pinky toe knuckle mound down, the inner heel and the outer heel. Stamp down into your feet and notice what happens with your legs. Pull the belly in and relax your head a little more. Take a big breath in. And a big sigh out. Bend the knees a little more, engage the belly, and push into the bottoms of the four corners of your feet. Rolling yourself slowly up to a standing position, rolling the shoulders up and back. Circle those arms all the way up to the ceiling, looking up, lengthening those ribs up, floating up. Exhale, hands to our heart center, closing your eyes, landing your palms in front of the heart. Feel into your heart beating inside of your chest. Remind yourself of your intention. Take a breath with a smile. And release your hands. Circle those arms all the way up. Keep your legs firm, right? Press into your feet, lift up your chest, look up, and open your arms wide. Bend the knees, and that helps you keep your weight even on the bottoms of your feet, those four corners. Releasing your arms and your head to hang heavy. Half forward fold with an inhale, unraveling, keeping your weight even on your feet. Exhale and fold forward. Step that left leg back. Toe land, heel lands down. Toes are pointing pretty forward to the front of the mat. Bend that right knee and firm your belly. Push into bottoms of both feet and come all the way up, circling your arms to the ceiling for warrior one pose. Good. So now adjust your stance. Your right foot, your toes might kind of like inchworm forward, and keep the weight in the outer edge of your left foot. Press down to the outer edge of that foot and feel that stretch to the calf, maybe the outer shin. Now lengthen the tailbone, almost like that little cat tilt of the tail, feeling the front belly pull up and squeeze these ribs in together versus letting them flare open. We pull them in. Flip the palms to face each other and even rotate behind you. So those thumbs are opening out to the outer edges of the room. Nice full breath in here. Full exhale. Steady your gaze at one point. Firm the left glute and feel the outer left hip pull to the inner left hip. Deepen the breath and lengthen up the ribs. Floating spaciousness, opening between the rib cages, between the bones of the spine. Another full breath in. And then open your arms wide and plant the hands down. Woo, lifting that left heel, step forward, meet your right foot. Inhaling into a half forward fold right away. Extend the spine out of the hip. Exhale, fold forward, relax. Melt the head down. Let the knees bend. Take a breath. Sigh it out. And then step the right leg back. Warrior one, so that whole foot plants down, the toes are pointing pretty forward. We bend the left knee, we hug the belly in, pressing into both feet. We circle those arms all the way up, palms facing each other. Great. Bending that left knee, and as you do, we lift the ribs up higher out of those hips, pushing the weight to the outer right foot. Almost lifting your toes in that right foot and left foot. That's how much you're pushing into the knuckle mound on your feet. Rather than gripping the toes, we're able to lift and spread them. Stamp into the heel, inner heel, outer heel too. Deepen the breath, lift those ribs out of the hips. Chin is parallel to the floor. Palms face each other or even behind you, or maybe this time interlace your fingers above your head. Steepling your pointer fingers up. Lengthening those arms up, lengthening the sides of the waist up. Another full breath in, steady gaze. Full breath out. And then open the arms, inhaling, Exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Woo! Nice deep breath in here. And sigh it out, exhale. Inhale, press yourself forward to a high plank position. Drop the knees down and then chest and chin. So tilt the tailbone up like a mini cow pose. We keep our hips and belly off the floor and we bend the elbows, lean forward, dropping the heart and the chin down. Stay here, pull the shoulders back, gaze forward or even up towards your eyebrows. Hug the belly in and then untuck toes. Slither yourself forward, dropping the belly and hips, lifting your arms, hands, chest, head, everything. Toes are down though. And exhale, lower. Really active. Push into your hands, come to child pose for a moment. Rolling over your knees, big toes touch. Really press your hips to the heels, extending your arms forward, but then soften. Relax your head, relax your forearms and your shoulders. Deepen your breath here. Just one breath at a time, and we'll do 3. So stay intentional with the breath. Think of your intention to keep your mind focused. Awesome. Inhale up to tabletop. Curl the toes, lift up downward dog. Let's step the right foot forward between the hands right away. So step it forward. Sound effects welcome. You can use your right hand to step it a little more forward and then drop the left knee down. Keep your left toes tucked. Push into those toes like you could almost lift your knee. That's how much you're rooting down into them. Push into the big toe mound and the pinky toe mound on your right foot and the heel, and then press and lift up all the way. Big breath in, lift the chest up, nice deep breath. Sink your hips forward now. Let those hips sink. Yes, beautiful. Lift your chest and those ribs up higher, floating out of the hips. Look up, lift the chin. Take a bigger breath in, maybe interlace your fingers, steepling the pointer fingers, helping to pull back. One more breath. And open those arms, circle them down to the floor. Beautiful work. Move your hips back now. Lifting your right toes, untuck your left toes, and then keep walking yourself back so you sit on your left heel. Yeah, good. Lift your chest up, take a breath. So you might also want to grab a blanket or a block, and you can bring that right on top of that left leg so you get a little height, right? It becomes less intense, which is great. Lift your chest, feel the tailbone press back, lift your, spread your toes, right toes, and then maybe walk your hands forward a little bit. And with that kind of weight of your torso coming down, it increases that stretch, so be gentle. Lift and spread your toes. Your right toes are square to the ceiling, so is the knee. You can firm that right thigh, pulling your chest slightly forward. Tailbone reaches slightly back, and we breathe. Notice where you feel the stretch the most. If it's right in your knee, bend the knee. Absolutely bend your knee. Create less of an intense stretch around your knee. You want it more the lower leg, like the meaty calf or the hamstring, above the knee, between the hips. Last 2 breaths here. Keep feeling energetically that right hip reaching back, but your right toes pulling towards you, opening the back of the leg. Good. And then bring your hands under your shoulders, push into the left foot and your hands, and come back up. Notice how that left foot feels, flooding the blood into that lower leg. So then coming forward, slowly just push into your hands, slide that right knee down to the floor next to the left. Lift your right foot up, pointing your toes, and cross your right shin on top of your left calf. and then press back. So you're squashing. This is called a calf squasher. Squashing that left calf. And then you might want to lift and move the shin down the calf a little bit and press down again. Oh yeah, that was a good spot. You might want to lift and move it down again and press down. So you kind of make your way down your lower leg with that right shin bone. The shin bone is super strong, right? And there's not much muscle on the front of it. This is a really great way to just decompress that left calf. Okay, do 2 more kind of pressures or breaths here. And then when you're ready, come back up. Curl those toes, lift your knee, downward facing dog. And then pedal out your legs and just notice how the backs of the legs feel now. Try to spread your toes as you're pedaling. Feel your forearms pull towards each other, relax your head and lengthen your back up so long. Yes, lift those hips, bend your knees a little bit, tilting the low back, tilting the tail up, pressing your chest to the thighs. Good, and then lift the left leg and step it through between your hands. Dropping that right knee down. Maybe use your left hand to get that left foot a little more forward. Keep your right toes tucked so much you could lift the knee. That's how much you're pressing in, but you keep the knee down and press into the left foot. Circle your arms all the way up. Keep rooting into your feet. And then allow your hips to sink forward. And as you do, lift your chest and your ribs up. Deepen the breath, maybe interlacing your fingers here. Feel those shoulders lower down, away from your ears. Keep stamping into the big toe of the left foot and the pinky toe and the inner and the outer heel. Lengthening your gaze, maybe up towards the ceiling. 1 more full breath, lift the ribs. Then open those arms wide, circle them down. Woo! Push those hips back. Lifting your left toes. Now here we go. Untuck the right toes. Maybe find your blanket on that right calf. Your support of any sort or not. Sit on that right heel. Lift the left toes. Move the left hip back though, right? Energetically. Pull the chest forward at the same time with a breath. Inhale to lengthen up the spine. And exhale, maybe lowering a tiny little bit over that left leg. Oh, and then we spend time here finding a position that feels best. Breathing thoughtfully and fluidly into the leg. Firming the belly. Keeping that core strength strong here to help open up the length of the spine, to help keep us in a stable posture. Let's do 2 more breaths. Heavier head, relax the jaw. Beautiful. And then press back up. Bringing your hands under shoulders, push against that right knee, bringing yourself forward, remove that blanket off of your calf if it was there. Slide that left knee next to the right knee. And then we point the left toes, we lift it up, lift that left foot up, and bring the shin on top of that right calf. Maybe right by the knee. So you start at the upper calf, pressing back now, hips toward the heel. You lift a little and shift that left shin down the calf a little bit, press back again. Right, and just keep going. And when you find a sweet spot, you'll know. Just hang out there for a moment, right? Try to bear it, take a breath so you find ease, the exhale. Letting the tightness in those muscles know, you can start relaxing, releasing. We bring energy and breath and oxygen through these muscles. Pressure, movement, and tension. Okay, let's do 2 more presses or breaths. And then we'll come up. Releasing that left foot, curl your toes, spread your fingers, downward facing dog. Whew. Yeah, feels good. Pedal out those legs, spread your toes, really tilt the tailbone up, lengthening your spine, letting your head be so heavy. Beautiful. 2 more breaths here. Awesome. Then we'll bend both knees, looking at your hands. Step your feet to your hands all the way. Inhale, half forward fold once you're here. And exhale, fold forward. Chair pose. Bend your knees, sink your hips down, circle your arms out and up, meeting outside of your ears. Take a deep breath in here, lifting your chest up. Weight is in those heels, so look at your toes, spread them, and then press into your left foot. Lift your right foot up, balancing. Hands to our heart center. Firm that left glute. Pull the outer left hip in towards your right hip. Flex that right foot. Steady your breath. Steady your gaze. And then think about the 4 corners on the bottom of your left foot. Push into the big toe mound. Push into the pinky toe mound. Push into your inner heel and your outer heel. How does that distribute your weight differently? Now, as you inhale, extend your right leg forward and hold it here. Whew. Deep breath, lift your chest up. Exhale, hold it in, hold the leg up, squeeze the belly. Lift the leg a little higher, push into the 4 corners of that left foot. And then bend the knee, bend the left knee a little bit. Start leaning forward as you extend your right leg back. Find your warrior 3 pose. Spread your right toes, feeling them point to the floor, and you reach back through the heel. Now, hands can float by your hips perhaps. Extend the crown of your head forward. Nice deep breath in all along the length of your body here, from heel to the crown of the head. Exhaling, we hug the belly in. Steady the gaze, steady the breath. 2 more. Long body. Find that length. You're floating, space between the bones. And we bend the left knee so slowly. Drop your right toes back. Warrior 1. Once again. All the way up. Beautiful work. Deep breath in. Lengthen. Up, up, up. Now open up to the right. Warrior 2. Pull that right heel in. But right away, pull your left toes to point to the right. Hands to our hips. Move your feet so that your toes are parallel to each other. Lift your chest, inhale. Firm those legs. Little bend in the knees, exhale, fold forward. Lifting your hips up, pulling your chest forward and folding down. Hands meeting the floor or grabbing for either ankle, helping to pull your torso down a little more as that navel pulls in, the belly tightens. Push into the 4 corners of your feet. Relax your head. Pull the shoulders up away from your ears. Long, deep breath. Last 2 here. That is it. So take full advantage of these deep breaths, sinking in this posture. And then slowly, hands come underneath the shoulders. Walk your hands over to this left foot. Now slowly, we bend that left knee. We rotate the right toes up to the ceiling as we sink those hips down. Yes. Hands are on the inside of that left leg. Lift your chest up. Firm that right thigh. Take a breath in. You can stay right here or start walking your hands forward out ahead of you. A little bit of an angle. Lowering only an amount that feels good for you. This is a big inner thigh stretch, opening big time in our prana energy flow in our body here. Huge protected spot of our body, right? Our main arteries run right on that inner thigh, and we're opening up flow of energy. Nice deep breath. One more here. And then walk your hands back towards you. Push against that left foot to come up, dropping your right toes, pointing them to this long edge of the mat. And we walk our hands to the right, we sink, and we rotate the left toes up to the ceiling. Right, and your right heel could be off the ground or on the ground. Fine, either way, mine's up. Hands are on the inside of the leg. We lift the chest up, once again, trying to find space of those ribs out of the hip. And then we decide if we want to walk those hands out a little bit at all, if at all. Spread those left toes. You're active all the way through that left leg and firm the thigh. Deepen the breath. Feeling your abdomen engage with your exhale so you find some strength there, helping you to stabilize from the center of your body in the posture. One more breath. And then walking your hands back, press out of that right foot. Let your left toe still point forward. Walk your hands to the inside of this left foot and lift your right heel up. Take a breath, pull your chest forward and sink your hips down, slowly dropping your right knee down and untucking those toes. So your hands are on the inside of your left foot. Walk that left foot out a little bit to the left. Finding a lizard pose, sinking those hips forward, lifting the chest. Take a nice full breath in and a full breath out. And then slowly press into your hands, curl the right toes, lift the knee and slide that left foot back. Find your downward facing dog. Deep breath in here. Open mouth, exhale. Wiggle the tail, bend the knees, alternate, whatever kind of movement you want to do. Observe how your legs and your hips and your hammies and your inner thighs are feeling. And then bend the knees a lot. Look forward at your hands. Inhale. Exhale, step forward, both feet to hands. Inhale, half forward fold. Lift your chest, extend that spine. Don't give up on the length. Exhale and fold. Relax your head, heavy. Bend the knees, find your chair pose. Spread your toes. Maybe lift them up so you know the weight is in your heels. Circle those arms up. Firm the glutes. Pull the tail low. Pull the front belly up. Lift the chest. Shoulders are heavy. Shift your weight to your right foot. Push the four corners down into the floor and lift that left leg all the way up. Hands to our heart center and we balance. Steady the breath and gaze right here. We're just staying for a moment. Feel that right glute engage, pulling the outer hip in towards the inner hip. Firming the belly, lifting the chest up, floating once again in the body. Now exhale everything out. And then inhale, push that left heel forward. So pull your chest forward, keeping your shoulders on top of your hips. Lift it. Hold it here for 2. You've got the strength. Firm the core. Hug the core and help it lift the leg. One more. And then bend that left knee. Bend your right knee. Lean forward as you push that left leg back. Reach the heel, left heel back. Stand into the bottom of your right foot and extend your chest forward. Hands can float by your hip. Spread your toes in the left foot, pointing them to the floor. Reach back through the heel, reach forward through the crown of the head. Find the length in your body. Spaciousness between the bones. 2 more breaths here. You've got the strength. 1 more. Bending that right knee, land in warrior 1. Left toes gently meeting, that foot drops down, arms circle up. Beautiful work, look up, inhale. Open those arms wide, exhale, land it down. Step back, downward facing dog. Woo, full breath in together. Lion's breath, exhale. Come forward to a plank pose. Exhaling, drop the knees, chest, and chin. Remember, tilt the tailbone, keep the hips and belly off the floor. Lean forward, drop the heart and chin. Untuck your toes, slither forward, lifting your hands up, feet are on the ground. And exhale, lower. Bend the knees, bring your big toes to touch. Roll over your knees and come to child's pose. Sinking your hips down to the floor. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale, let it all go. A few more breaths. All right, come on up. Now I'm gonna face you this way, and you might wanna do the same, bringing yourself so that the knees and ankles both rest on your mat. We're gonna start opening those legs apart. Toes point to the outer edges of the room. So your feet are flexed here. Hands are down, and then just open those knees apart. Frog pose. Okay, big inner thigh stretch. Okay, opening up that root chakra, a little teaser for you, Yeti. All right, so now you might be like, cool, this is intense. So just be gentle, okay? And then push your hips back just a tiny little bit and notice what happens. Okay, stay there, take a breath. Soften something, trust your body. You might potentially want to lower onto your forearm. And then you feel just a little push of your elbows into the floor, feeling those hips press back a tiny smidge. Yes, breathe. Try to soften deep inside of your hips. Your feet could even relax a little bit here. Give yourself time. Think about spaciousness and opening, clarity, right? All these feelings, these words of creating space. Flow. Relax your face and your jaw again, the tongue. Bring all of your awareness right into the stretch that you feel and just bring awareness and desire of opening, of letting go. Notice what's happening. Just about 3 more breaths. Okay. Yay, good job. Come up onto your hands now. You're gonna lean forward, bring your hips forward and bring your feet towards each other, and then slowly press yourself out of it. Good job. All right, scoot your feet to one side, take your time. Let those legs go long. Scoot yourself forward so you have enough room to lay back. Remove the bits out from underneath you. Toes are lifted, arms circle up. Let's all bend our knees actually. Lift your toes and then fold forward, reaching for those toes. Relaxing your head. Let your belly rest on those thighs. Take a breath in. And exhale. Now maybe you walk your right hip back a little and then your left hip back. And you keep kind of shimmying your hips back one at a time until you feel the backs of your legs really opening up here into a stretch, and then you pause where it feels good. And it might be more of a stretch in the back, and that's great too. In Sanskrit, this is called Paschimottanasana. Intense back body stretch is how it translates. You can feel this anywhere on the back of your entire body. Relax the head more, 2 more breaths. Release any tension in the face. And then relax your arms by your legs. Engage your core and stack your spine up on top of the hips. 1 vertebrae at a time. Roll the shoulders back. Let's bring our hands behind us and our feet onto the floor. Fingers are spread wide. Your fingers might be pointing towards your hips or to the outer edges of the mat. Press into your feet and your hands and lift your hips up. Here we go. Big breath. Look up at the ceiling. Firm those glutes. Nice deep breath in. And out. Bring your breath right into your chest. Lift it up. Yes, Yeti. Big breath into that heart. And exhale, lower down. Right, and your body tells you, right, if those hands pointing in or out doesn't feel good and you want them back, then just point it back, and that's totally fine too. It's a matter of your wrists, really. So now lengthen those legs, big breath in, fold forward over those legs, but right away, roll back. Let your head be heavy, round your whole spine along the way. Let your arms kind of reach towards your toes as you lower, dropping the tailbone, the low back. middle back to the upper back, the shoulders, the back of the head, and the arms. We made it. Move your ponytail if it's in the way. Bring your knees into your chest and rock side to side. Do a happy baby or straddle position. So just separate your knees apart. Hands come to the inner side of your legs to push your legs apart. And just try to relax inside of your hips here. Holding your legs open, the knees open, or holding your ankles or feet for happy baby. So whatever feels better for you to just kind of open into those hips for a moment. Wiggle side to side, rock side to side. Take a breath. Inside out. And then bring those knees together. Drop your feet to the floor. And we're going to cross your right thigh over your left thigh. Like you're just sitting down in a cross-legged position, right? Crossing those legs. Now lift your knees and bring them into your chest and hold on to those knees. And this might be enough. You might just want to stay right here. Or you might want to bring your right ankle towards the left and slide your left hand towards that ankle. Maybe you just grab the shin like I can. And then your right hand grabs to your left foot, maybe pulling it in a little bit, tugging kind of towards you, feeling those outer hips stretch now. So only go as far down your legs with your hands as feels good for you, because you don't have to go far to feel it. Try to soften your face, that kind of non-affected, expressionless face. Yep, I'm here, stretching the hips, it's all good. Relax jaw. Notice where you feel the stretch. Where in the hip is it? Can you isolate those sensations? Just getting to know yourself more. All these little parts of yourself that make up your beautiful self. And when you're ready, you will slowly release the hands, dropping that right foot down. Uncross the legs and switch. So maybe now the right leg's crossed over, or the left. I feel like I cued it wrong the other side. I don't know. All right, now lift your knees up, prepare for your knees, and then slide those hands towards the ankles, towards the shins. Wherever you land is perfect. Right, and by lifting that left foot out towards the right, you kind of open into the hip a little bit, so observe that. Right, but one position might feel better for you than another, so do what feels best. Feel the lower back root down, soften the face and the shoulders. Do one more nice deep breath. When you're ready, releasing, uncrossing, open the knees apart, bring the bottoms of the feet together, hands on the upper thighs, kind of pressing your legs forward. Maybe wiggle the hips a little bit. Okay. And then bring those knees together and hug it out. Bring your arms over those shins, nose up to your knees. Take a nice deep breath in here. And exhale for your final resting pose. Shavasana. Letting those legs relax. Flap the feet open. Relax the arms wherever feels best for you today. Exhale everything out of your body. So empty, and then inhale through your nose, filling your belly first. Then your ribs, the belly softens as you then start to pull the breath into your chest too. Hold it in, sip it up, sip it up, sip it up. And open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. And let your body melt back down onto the floor, relaxing your neck and head. Your jaw, down through your shoulders, and your arms and hands, relaxing through the body, the hips, the legs, and the feet. Just allow yourself to get heavier, so heavy you could almost feel weightless, feeling into that beautiful sense of lightness that you've created in your whole body. This lifted practice. Maybe tune into the sensation or the idea that you are hovering right where you are. Just floating ever so slightly right above your yoga mat, effortlessly. And so light and weightless. Not an ounce of tension, just complete ease and effortlessness. You just simply rest. Now just start to remind yourself of your intention. And then start to feel the inside of your mouth start to smile. And let that smile travel to the corners of your lips, lifting into the cheeks. And feel this huge smile come upon your face and wash over your whole body. Sense of happiness, contentment, bliss. Take a nice deep breath in. And sigh it out. Wriggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your eyes under your lids. Rock your head side to side. Reach your arms to the wall behind you and legs come together, pointing your toes. Reaching and stretching, flex the glutes, arch your back, squeeze your face, take a breath in. Then exhale, relax. And bend your knees and roll over to your side. Try to keep your eyes closed. And when you're ready, use your sense of touch and press yourself to a seated position. Feeling your way there, trusting you'll get there fine without seeing your way there. Lengthen your spine taller than how we started. Meet your palms together in front of your heart. Take a nice deep breath in here. And sigh it out again. Feeling the corners of your mouth lift to your ears once more. Big smile as you remind yourself of your intention. Letting this guide you whenever you need to change your mind and just realign your focus and your energy and where you're going. Remembering that you always have a choice. Let's rub our palms together, generate some heat and energy, going a little faster and faster until you feel the warmth, and then bring your warm palms, stick up on your closed eyes, barely on your face. Take a deep breath to absorb it all. And release your hands down the face, melting over the cheeks, palms connecting, landing in front of the heart. Believe in yourself and do what you are supposed to. Appreciate yourself, enjoy yourself, and love yourself. From my heart to yours, my friend. Namaste. All righty.